Okay guys, I'm about to do Ghost Story Part 4. So...
8:08 p.m. 0 watching now. 13 seconds.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna start it, so please don't interrupt me. I'm gonna try to stay concentrated on this part, because the last one I got messed up, so please do not distract me in any way. Just come on here and just listen to the story. If you need to know if you're coming on late, then I'll fill you in on what's going on. But if you're just now coming in, then just, yeah, listen to the story. Okay?
0 watching now.
Okay.
49 seconds.
Okay, part 4 is where I left off when Peyton Dotson and I were talking in the recovery room after I just got out of surgery from kidney and liver transplant and blood transfusions. And we left off where it was about 12 a.m. Okay. Alright, so after we decided to move back to our room in the hospital room, so the nurses came by the bedside and she's like, okay, we're gonna move you back to your room. I'm like, okay. And Peyton and Colton just kind of stood aside, and I ended up leaving them two behind because they were talking about something, so I went alone back in my room, and it was kind of creepy just going through the halls, and it was just dead quiet. And then after a few minutes I hear running, and then I hear Colton say, wait, I'm coming, and he spills a cup of coffee. He's like, damn it! He screams out loud. And he gets boiling coffee on his hand, so now his hand is burnt. He screams, he's like, ah! And I look behind me, I'm like, what? And this is when they had numbed me up with pain meds, so I had the urge to sit up and look behind me. I'm like, what just happened? And then my nurse, Lisa, she stopped. She's like, are you okay? I'm sorry. And Colton was really pissed. He's like, no, I'm not okay because I told you to wait and I spilled coffee all over and now I just burnt my hand. You motherfucker, he said. And
0 watching that.
So now he had a mess to clean up and he had a burn to take care of on his hand. And I could see that it looked pretty bad. I was like, oh. The coffee was boiling hot. Really hot. And I'm like, why would you carry a cup of boiling hot coffee? He's like, I was holding it because I bought it from Starbucks. Oh, wow. And we got to my room. And Peyton Dotson was next door. So they have this in Christ Hospital where you have one big room and then you have one patient on one side of the room and then you have the other on the other side of the room. So it's kind of like a combined hospital room. I guess that's what you can call it. So while I had the window side of the room, like by the window and stuff, Peyton Dotson had like towards the door side of the room. So like he was closer to the door. And we had a curtain that drew between our walkway to each other's beds. And then Peyton Dotson would have to open the curtain to get to my side of the room to talk to me, or he would have to go around his bed, whatever which way he goes, to the open part that is already halfway open. That is the walkway of the hospital room. And so we got to our rooms, and then Colton and I got on our side of the space while Peyton went to bed because he started feeling the pain from where he had his one kidney and part of his liver taken out. And he went to bed with some pain meds on him. And I was kind of getting tired. I was really tired, really out of it. So then I went to bed. And then the next day was just kind of a relaxing day because they finished almost everything on me. And I would have to do radiation at 4 p.m. that day. And it was a Wednesday of January. Let's see, what was New Year's? Okay, Friday, that's January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. So it was January 6th, and it's probably about my 3rd day in the hospital, or 2nd day. I don't count days. No. Yeah, 3.5 days. So, I'm surprised no one came on yet.
8:14 p.m. 6 minutes 9 seconds.
And it's been 6 minutes, and they missed most of the ghost story. Okay. So Colton had left to work at 8 a.m. He drove all the way back an hour from Philadelphia to his job. Peyton Dotson had just woken up from the other side of the hospital room, and he came over to me. He's like, "Hey, Dove." I said, "Yeah." I say, "Did Colton just leave?" He said, "Yeah." "Why?" "Oh, snap." "Why?" And then Peyton runs out of the room. "Peyton," I said, "you can't." It was too late though. Then I heard the alarm going off. An escaped patient had just got out of room 222. I'm like, oh my god, that's Peyton. He just ran out of the room and took off. And I'm in room 222. What? I jumped out from the bed. I'm standing there. I'm like, oh my god. One of the nurses came and they're like, "Where's Peyton Dotson?" I'm like, "I don't know. He just asked where my boyfriend was." And then when I told him he left, he's like, "Oh, god dang it." And then he took off running. He's like, the one nurse, his name is Jay. He's like, "Okay, I'll be back. Hang on." So he takes off running. And Peyton's going ballistic. He's screaming, "Fuck you, bastard," everything.
0 watching.
So,
Watching now. 0 likes.
so
8 minutes. 8:16 p.m.
So I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? You know, Peyton's going crazy, this and that, blah blah blah. And then, after he goes nuts, they admit him into the psych ward, in the psychiatric ward. I'm like, what? Because he came out with a knife and was ready to kill someone. The nurses told me that they would have to escort me to another room where it's more private. I'm like, okay. So they moved me into another hospital bed that moves, and they grabbed all my stuff and Colton's charger and everything. And they're like, "We're gonna move now." I'm like, oh my god, will you please call him and let him know what's going on? And Lisa, she came back. She's like, "Yeah, I will." So she takes my phone, she calls Colton, she steps aside, she's like, "Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt you from work, but your friend Peyton Dotson was like, oh, where are you, whatever, to Dove," and then she told him, "Oh, I don't know, he left or something." And then Peyton went ballistic, ran out of the hospital room, and he pulled out a knife and tried murdering a staff member of the hospital. And so now we have to move Dove up to a private room, and I have your stuff and all of hers, and we're gonna move both of you guys into a private room. Colton was freaking out. He's like, "Oh my god, is she okay? Is she okay?" Lisa's like, "Yes, Dove is okay if you want to talk to her." She's kind of a little freaked out right now. And so he finally calmed down, and I got on the phone. I was like, "Hey," Colton's like, "Oh my god, you know, this is scary. Peyton almost killed you. He almost tried killing somebody else. Yeah, I see, but he's going to be admitted into a psych ward. Oh my god. Colton said. I'm just glad you're okay. I love you. I gotta get back to work. I'll try to get out at 4, okay? That's okay. But I have to do chemotherapy at 4. Alright, well then I'll see you then. Alright. And then they wanted to do a CT scan on me to see how far the cancer had spread throughout my body. And they were gonna shoot the dye in me. I was like, oh, this is not fun. So they got me up to a private room. Luckily there was TV and everything, Netflix. And I was all settled. I plugged in Colton's iPad by the wall. I put his stuff down to the side. I put my stuff away. I was like, oh my god, this is so scary. And Lisa's like, it's okay. Do you want me to sit with you until he comes till 4? I was like, yeah. You know, would you? And so Lisa went to go talk to one of the nurses, and they excused her to hang with me until 4, until they took me down for a CT scan and chemo and radiation. So me and her talked for a little while, and I don't want to be interrupted. So after I was moved up to a private room and heard that Peyton Dotson was going psycho on someone, I ended up turning the news on, not knowing that he was in a psych ward, but he was fighting with a 12-year-old girl. And I'm like, why is he fighting with other patients now? This is really sad. So, dang it. Anyways, going back from where I said, I turned on the news and saw that Peyton was picking on a young 12-year-old girl. I was like, why is he doing this, first of all? He's crazy, he's a psycho, and all that. And this is crazy. So me and Nurse Lisa talked for a little while. I told her about the engagement ring that I got from Colton. She's like, oh, congratulations. When are you guys gonna get married? I was like, on my birthday, September 7th. She's like, oh, that's nice. And so she asked if I can take down her number so that way she can come. I really do appreciate her helping me through my cancer and everything, and helping me through my situations when Colton was at work and I needed her most. And even though I needed him the most, he wasn't there. Lisa was there. I was glad to have someone there by my side. And so I gladly took Lisa's number down, even though she was a nurse, and she told me not to say anything. I promised her. And I didn't want Colton to know that I got nurse's phone number, so I didn't tell him anything. So I told her if I can keep her on block mode until the wedding. She's like, absolutely. She's like, but would you still receive my messages? I said, I'll just block off calling, but I'll keep messages unblocked. She's like, okay, that's fine. So, that time,
14 minutes, 19 seconds.
Okay, what was I gonna say? I messaged her and told her it was Dove, and then she messaged, hey, it's Lisa. So, we put our phone numbers in, and then I gave her my Facebook name. I'm like, oh crap, you know, Colton's gonna find you. She's like, well, whatever, let him find me. So we accepted each other's Facebook names, and it was nice talking. Around 4:30, Colton came. I was like, okay, it was nice talking to you. I said, thank you so much, Lisa, you know, you're a good nurse here, and I really trust you. She's like, oh, not a problem. And then she whispered, I'll bring you some coffee later tonight when he's in bed. I'm like, yes, thank you. And Colton was like, oh, I heard you met a new friend. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, something's fishy. What's going on? I said, oh, nothing. I was just talking to the nurse about something.
Rotate device.
And he's like, oh, okay. Colton shook it off as if just medical stuff. And he's like, I heard what's going on. I'm like, yeah, don't remind me. And then he got a Facebook alert. Who is Lisa? I don't know. What? Lisa who? Our friend? No, it's a different Lisa. Oh, yeah, I don't know. She just randomly found our page on Facebook. I lied. You gave the nurse our Facebook names? No, it was a patient. How come it shows that she's working in a hospital? I have no idea, I say. Huh, weird, he said. He took it as maybe just some other stuff and didn't say nothing about it.
0 watching that.
So I was like, oh, okay.
8:24 p.m.
You know,
16 minutes 28
I'm
seconds.
shocked. After we chatted for a bit, later on that night, Lisa, the nurse, came back. She's like, do you want me to get you some coffee? I'm like, yeah, hurry. You know, he stepped out. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Rotate device.
So, while Colton went to bed, he fell asleep. Oh, fuck.
Hi, Priya. I know we haven't talked in a while, but I thought you would want an update. Close button.
Hang on a second.
8:25 p.m. 2 new messages.
I'm sorry about that.
0 watching now. 0 likes.
I didn't think that was gonna happen.
0 watching now. 0 likes.
Okay, so while I'm gonna finish this last part and then I'm gonna stop here for now
17 minutes
to see
44
what's
seconds.
going on. Okay, so while Lisa went to get coffee, Colton was asleep, and she came back with coffee. She's like, don't tell me I brought it to you. And I was like, come here. She's like, what? I said, when I gave you Colton's Facebook name, he found out. She's like, oh, damn it.
0 watching. 18 minutes.
Alright, we're gonna stop here to where the part when you have found out that I gave Lisa, our nurse, our Facebook names, and she snuck in some coffee.
Okay.